India has slammed Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau as cavalier for accusing his envoys of being involved in the killing of a Sikh separatist in Vancouver last year. Mr. Trudeau had told an independent commission that India clearly violated Canada's sovereignty.
We are not looking to provoke or create a fight with India. The Indian government made a horrific mistake in thinking that they could interfere as aggressively as they did in the safety and sovereignty of Canada.
India and Canada's row centers on Sikh separatist Hardeep Singh Nijjar, who was shot dead in June last year. He waged a campaign for a separate Sikh state in India known as Khalistan. Earlier this week, the Trudeau government identified India's High Commissioner as a person of interest in the assassination, expelling him and 5 other diplomats. India dismissed all claims as preposterous and lacking evidence. In return, they also expelled 6 Canadian diplomats. And for more, we have Rebecca Bundhun joining us live from Mumbai. Rebecca, yet another back and forth between New Delhi and Ottawa. What more has India said about these latest comments from Canada's Prime Minister?
Yes, there have been further comments from India today at its weekly media briefing held by the Foreign Ministry. And again, they've reiterated their position and again expressed anger really over Justin Trudeau's comments. Again, India saying that these are completely baseless allegations. India claims that it hasn't been presented with any evidence that supports these allegations by Canada linking India and Indian diplomats to this killing of the Sikh separatist leader last year in Canada. And India also saying that it's made requests for the extradition of 26 Indian criminals in Canada. And it says that although it's given Canada a lot of security information and asked Canada to make arrests too, that Canada hasn't taken action. So all this really represents a significant escalation in terms of this dispute that's been ongoing now between Canada and India for more than a year. India has also said that this is politically motivated. India really blaming Justin Trudeau for the damage that's taken place to these ties, as India describes it. India saying that this is an attempt to smear India on Canada's part. So India really continuing with that assertion as Canada continues with its investigation, also continues to accuse India of this involvement with those very strong words from Justin Trudeau, which really does represent the strongest words we've heard so far in terms of his accusations against India. So this is very much an ongoing row between the two countries.
Rebecca, it's not just Canada, so we've had the United States doing the same as well over another alleged assassination plot, a US court issuing a summons just last month. But India has reacted rather differently to any suggestions or comments or court summons from the United States.
We have seen a big difference in the way that India has reacted to the accusations that have come through from the US compared to those of Canada. In fact, the US State Department has said that it's very satisfied with the way that India has been cooperating with its investigation. Now, that's an investigation that's related to what the US has said it was an attempted assassination plot against a Sikh activist on US soil in New York. And the US says that India has been cooperating. In fact, India sent over a committee, a high-level inquiry committee, just this week to the US to actually review evidence that the US presented to India. And the US State Department has also said that India, in terms of the individual that the US have named, that this individual no longer actually works for the Indian government. So it seems to be very different, India continuing to just completely reject Canada's allegations and saying that they're completely unfounded, but on the other hand, cooperating with the US in terms of that other assassination attempt that took place. But the US has certainly also urged India to cooperate with Canada.
Our thanks to Rebecca Bundhun reporting live from Mumbai.